Hi, I'm Paul Jacob, President of Citizens in Charge and Citizens in Charge Foundation. Over the past 2 years, our first operational years, we've worked tirelessly to defend and expand initiative, referendum, and recall rights in states all across the country. We've seen increasing success in these efforts. We've helped stop legislation that would have restricted the citizen initiative process. And we've supported measures that now make that process more open and accessible to the average citizen. When necessary, we've gone to court to defend the essential right to petition our government, in several cases all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court. Our grassroots and media outreach programs have refocused the debate on the importance of initiative and referendum as a check on our government, and we've expanded our pro-initiative coalition all across the entire political spectrum. As we strive for more success in the future, we'll continue to need your help. We look forward to working with you. But first, here's a peek at some of what we've accomplished over these last 2 years. Just 2 years ago, Citizens in Charge and Citizens in Charge Foundation first began to organize across the country. We are the only national groups dedicated to protecting and expanding initiative, referendum, and recall rights. Over the last 2 years, working across the nation and all across the political spectrum, with citizen leaders and local groups, we have already secured many important wins for voter rights. In Oklahoma, we worked to enact a constitutional amendment that reduces the signature requirement by nearly 40%. And also convinced legislators to pass 2 statutes to make it easier for citizens to place issues on the ballot. In Virginia, a new law protects recall petitioners from abusive fines. Wyoming voters will now have twice as much time at the local level to petition for initiatives and referendums. In Arizona, we helped form the coalition that defeated Propositions 109 and 112, 2 legislatively referred ballot measures which would have restricted the scope of that state's initiative and reduced the time available for citizens to petition. Not only did we this year overturn Ohio's Jim Crow-like residency requirement in federal court, but last year we also challenged Ohio's restrictions on the method of paying petition circulators. That case went all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court, and we prevailed. Citizens in Charge and Citizens in Charge Foundation recruit leaders and organize broad political coalitions which have produced significant improvements to the initiative petition process. These grassroots efforts have also mobilized to block the myriad of restrictive, often unconstitutional legislation intended to hinder citizen action. Campaigns in Alaska, Arizona, California, Colorado, Florida, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Missouri, Nebraska, Nevada, Oklahoma, Oregon, Texas, Utah, Virginia, Washington, and Wyoming have succeeded in protecting or improving these critical democratic checks. We've also worked to protect local initiative rights in places like Colorado, Maryland, Texas, and Wyoming, hitting the road when necessary to support citizens who are standing up for their freedoms. This year, again for the first time ever, legislators who authored anti-initiative bills were taken to task in ads on radio and television. We're getting the word around that politicians better make new cost-benefit calculations when they consider limiting the rights of voters to petition. This year we commissioned a poll in every one of the 50 states to measure the popular support for initiative and referendum. The results were both amazing and not so surprising. Voters in every single state favor the INR process by a margin of 2 to 1 or better. As Citizens in Charge actively works to make the process more open and accessible, the Foundation provides vital research to this growing pro-initiative movement. From the 2010 report card on statewide voter initiative rights, which serves as an annual yardstick comparing the democratic processes of the various states, to truth and governance studies like Is the F Word Overused?, which documented the very few cases of verified fraud in the petition process. This study has become an important piece of legal evidence. The Foundation also plays a crucial role as the national clearinghouse for legal efforts to defend our First Amendment rights. By building a network of First Amendment attorneys willing to tackle cases pro bono or for substantially reduced rates, along with public interest legal foundations, including the ACLU and the Center for Competitive Politics, Citizens in Charge Foundation has found affordable ways to litigate effectively and efficiently. Our 2010 caseload included court challenges in California, Colorado, Florida, Maryland, Missouri, Ohio, Nebraska, Nevada, Utah, and Washington. It's critical that the Foundation's legal efforts continue to progress and to expand in order to protect the right of citizens everywhere to petition government. We believe that representative government works better when citizens are given an opportunity to represent themselves. That's why we sponsored the first U.S. Conference on Initiative and Referendum in more than a decade this past August in San Francisco, and also co-sponsored the 2010 Global Forum on Modern Direct Democracy. The combined 6-day event brought together more than 450 people from across the country and throughout the world, representing just about every imaginable point on the political spectrum. Speakers ranged from consumer advocate Ralph Nader to anti-tax activist Grover Norquist. While politics today is bemoaned as bitterly partisan, Citizens in Charge and Citizens in Charge Foundation have, in the course of fulfilling our missions, worked with groups all across the political spectrum in a transpartisan manner. We at Citizens in Charge and the Citizens in Charge Foundation have broadened our network of supporters to protect the public from legislative shenanigans, defend First Amendment rights, and pass improvements to the initiative, referendum, and recall process that were unfathomable just 2 years ago. Join us. In 2011, working together, we can empower citizens to better understand, defend, and exercise their rights to initiative, referendum, and recall, critical tools to secure a government more accountable to the people.